Hi everybody, welcome to Aimee Nolte Music. Not long ago, I made a video about guitar fingerpicking style for piano. And I had a friend come over to the house a couple of days ago, and he told me that he had watched that video. Woo! He said, I've got the song that you showed us, which was Carolina in My Mind by James Taylor. He showed me, he bought the worksheet and he could totally play and sing that song, and that was really cool. But he goes, you said that we were going to be able to play any song like this, like a ton of songs. And he goes, I just can't figure out how to apply it to other songs. So that's probably my fault. I probably didn't list enough songs and I probably didn't demonstrate enough. Sometimes I don't know how specific to be. Today we're going to do that. I'm going to do just what I did for my friend Steve, who actually left the house being able to play like 5 songs. And I think he's figured out a ton more since he left. So what I did with him was I said, okay, well, first we've got to figure out guitar picking songs. So I just put into my phone guitar picking songs. And, you know, we get Dust in the Wind and Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You and Landslide and The Boxer and Good Riddance and Fast Car and Shape of My Heart and Fire and Rain and Hotel California. Like, you have to realize that there's this formula, this kind of rhythm, this kind of pattern, this kind of groove that was really popular, and it kind of still is. You hear songs like this a lot. You kind of have to recognize what it is when you hear it. So let's take these songs. Fire and Rain, right? Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. So this this kind of a pattern. I'm just a poor boy, though my story's seldom told. Hear it? It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you have the time of your life. You hear how that all sounds, it just all sounds like, in my mind I'm going to Carolina. Like it just all sounds the same in the groove. So anyway, Google it. You'll come up with just a ton of songs that can work in this style. And then I'm going to take you to the piano and we're going to use the same exact concept that we used in my fingerpicking guitar for piano video. And I'm just going to show you real quick how to take that exact style, that pattern, and plug it into a bunch of different songs. So let's just remember what we were doing in the Carolina in My Mind song. The first way that I had you set up was here. So we've got the 1 with the left hand and then the 3 of the chord with the left hand. It's an E major chord, and the right hand was in second inversion. So instead of being in a normal E major chord, we would take this B and put it on the bottom. And what that does is close up the gap between our hands so that it sounds more like a guitar. You could do it up here. It just doesn't sound so nice and close somehow. So I recommend that if you put your chord in second inversion, that your left hand is going to play the 1 and the 3 and the 1 and the 3 and the 1, like that. In my mind, that's how it sits. There is another way to do it, and that would be if you did want to play in root position, like maybe you're not ready for the inversions, although I think you need to be ready for that. Then you can take your left hand, instead of going 1 and 3, you can go 1 and 5. So we've got 1 and 2, 3, and there's 1, 5. Might be a good idea to try going back and forth, and then back to here. And then what we're just going to do is, I have on my phone right here, I just looked up simply the chords to Dust in the Wind, because I think that was the first guitar picking song that came up in my Google search. And we've got these chords. We've got C. I recommend that you just play the chords in root position to get started. I close, and then we've got a G over B. What you do want to figure out is the closest way for your chords to move from one to the other before you start breaking it apart into a finger-picking style. So there's a C, and then if we're going to put a B on the bottom of a G chord, that's a good inversion for G. It's in first inversion. Then we've got A minor. Right there will work just fine. And then maybe we can hop up. up to here with this second inversion G, and then D minor, and then A minor, which we can put anywhere. The only thing I want you to avoid doing is putting chords in first inversion when you're playing in this style. It just doesn't sit quite right to go, you know, it's too close. This note overlaps. You could do it with your hand an octave lower, and that works okay. I'm probably going to try to avoid that today, though. So all you have to do is figure out, you know, these chords, where you're going to put them. And then I said we're going to hop up to here, and then to here, and then maybe here. All right, so we've got that. Now we're just going to break it up in the finger style pattern. So when we've got a chord that's just in root position, like this C chord, we're doing 1 and 5 with the left hand, all right? Now, the second chord is kind of strange, and I'm going to go ahead and do it in first inversion because it's the simplest, and we've also got an inversion on the bottom. It's a slash chord with a B. So if it's not the root on the bottom, this is a good closed position where there's, you know, everything lines up. It sounds like a guitar. So here we go. Close my, and then for A minor, where are we going to go back here? Eyes. You do it twice because it lasts for a whole bar instead of just half a bar. And we're going to hop up to G. Only for a moment and the moment. What did we do? Oh yeah, moment's gone. Oh, right? And in my other video, I give you some ideas to kind of break up the pattern so that sometimes you do something different. So maybe you could go. This is in the other video. I think around the 4-minute mark. You can do something like that. Just take the notes of the chord and break them up so you're still following, you know, with all of those eighth notes, ducka 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 ducka, but you're just, you know, trying to break away from the monotony of it. After you get it, you know, you want to get this first. So let's look up another song. This one is Good Riddance. It's in the key of G. So we're going to play the chords first. Let's try putting G in second inversion. Another turning point, a fork. Now it's a C, stuck in the road. All right, it's gonna do that again. Da ba da 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 da. And then to E minor. Ba da 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 da. So it's pretty easy. We just have these chords, and the only one that we're putting in an inversion is gonna be G, I think. So what do we got? We got to just take it and come up with a pattern. Got it? Right, we're doing 1 and 3 when we've got the chord in second inversion, but when we change to root position, we're doing 1 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, and then D, same thing. E minor. Easy, right? Oh, maybe for the E minor, you could go down like this and put it in second inversion on the chorus. It's something unpredictable. That's how you do it. Let's say, let's try maybe the boxer. What if the boxer was also in G major? Da, 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 da. Sometimes you'll only have half of a bar to make your change. And in that case, all you need is 4 notes, and you only need to take your root note and your chord. That's it. So there's a G in second inversion, but we've got, like, the second chord would be D with an F sharp in the bass. So all you have to do is just play that D chord, your root note first, and then land on your next chord, which in this case would be E minor. You do have to make a little bit of an acknowledgement about how long the chords last. So, you know, on this ultimateguitar.com website where I got the chords, it does place the chord right above the word when it happens. So you can see like that on Good Riddance. Another turning point. You know, it's gonna do 2 bars of G because C doesn't happen until the word fork. A fork stuck in the road. So just be aware of that. Sometimes these will last for 1 bar. That looks like this. Sometimes it'll last for half a bar. Sometimes it'll last for 2 bars. And that's about it. I don't know really what else I can show you because you can just go through and grab all of these songs. What about the Pearl Jam one? Yes, I understand every life must end. Take a little, it's a lot. It's a lot of G right there. It was a lot of C too, but that's where you can, break up your monotony and use a little bit of, different patterns like I talk about in that first video. And as you just stick with this simple pattern and plug it in, like I said, either you're doing the second inversion with the 1 and the 3, or you're doing the root position with the 1 and the 5. And like I said, if you need to, you can use the first inversion too, but I would keep 1 and 5 in the left hand. I think that's just like a little bit, like that would be almost impossible to play on the guitar, to spread something out that much. You'd have to like move your finger for each part of it, and dum, boo, 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 dum, boo, boo. I think you would have to do that. I'm not really a guitar player, but so we want to just kind of keep this as smooth and your hands as close together as possible. That's why I recommend either second inversion or root position. All right, I think that's about it. I hope that was the nudge you needed to be able to take that first lesson and apply it to everything. That's always my goal. Take the little concept, apply it to your whole world, or as much of your world as you can. I told my friend Steve when he left the house, you could have 20 songs under your belt in that style. Steve has this goal of just being able to have a gig at a restaurant or a hotel and just be the background sound. And he said, and when people look at him or notice him, they might just say, that guy sounds all right, and then keep doing whatever they're doing. That's his goal. I think it's a noble goal. It's awesome. But I said, with this pattern alone, you could just have 20 songs at your disposal. You can just pull out at any given point and be the guy that sounds okay in the restaurant. Hey, don't forget to press the subscribe button. Don't forget to pick up my album if you haven't done it yet. Looking for the Answers, available on iTunes and Spotify and Amazon and Google Play and everywhere you get your music. I'll see you next time on Aimee Nolte Music.